Hey, Mike the Greek here inside the Institute of Higher Mathology that we've constructed inside the Substream.com's Film Lab. What we're going to do today, as we've done every year for the past couple of years, is tell you which picture's going to win the Oscar for Best Picture this Sunday. But I'm not going to do that now. I'm going to do that near the end of the video for more good suspense, which is also when you're going to find out that I'm actually the ghost of a dude that died when his heart got stung by a hornet during open chest surgery for a donut artery. We built this place 2 years ago because we decided that playing favorites and having gut feelings was a pretty piss-poor way to decide who was going to win the awards at the Oscars. We don't do it that way. We don't play favorites. In fact, I haven't even seen half of these movies. We do this stuff using math, analysis, statistics, calculation, genetic algorithms, computer, Wikipedia, taking notes. A computer is there, making decisions and doing it to it, which we're going to do now. Starting 2 years ago, using statistical analysis, we identified 8 important factors that are shared traits that Best Picture winning films tend to have in common at a much higher rate than, normal films. In order, these factors are having a short title. That's true of almost 90% of Best Picture winners. If it's a period piece, almost 70% of Best Picture winners have that in common. 36% of Best Picture winners are some way about royalty or what passes for American royalty, like presidents and important leaders and such like that, stuff like that. 56%, over 50%, have the involvement of either a British actor or a British director or are generally about British people. 32%, which seems small but is actually very high compared to the population of films in general, 32% of Best Picture winners are about a character that has a significant kind of handicap. Think Forrest Gump. 44% are about the horrors of war. 88%, almost 90% are about death. The death of a character, the imminent threat of death, that kind of thing, in some specific or general way. While 96% of Best Picture winners from the past 25 years were directed by a man. We used those 8 factors to predict correctly that The King's Speech was going to win Best Picture 2 years ago. The year after, thanks to some interesting statistical analysis that was not done by us that revealed that the Academy, in fact, is overwhelmingly massively old, overwhelmingly massively white, and overwhelmingly massively dudes, we identified an important 9th factor, the white, older, adult, male protagonist factor. Probably the most important factor of the 9. 84% of Best Picture winners have this trait in common. So, now we have a matrix. Now to apply them to the nominees for this year's Best Picture. We've run the numbers this year, and it's interesting to say the least. Right off the bat, we can eliminate 4 films. Beast of the Southern Wild is about death, and it's directed by a dude. That's 2 factors. Silver Linings Playbook is got a short, snappy title. It's got about a character that's got a handicap. He's got some kind of mental issues, It's directed by a man, and that's about it. Zero Dark 30 doesn't do that much better. Only really ticking off 4 boxes, while Life of Pi, in fact, ticks off 4 as well. Everything that remains, Amour, Django Unchained, Les Mis, Argo, and Lincoln all have at least 5 factors, which is significant because 5 factors would have put any one of those films in the lead last year with films like Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close or War Horse. What we know already, just by eliminating these top 4 films, is that this is a very homogeneous, very typical, very standard year for nominees for Best Oscar Picture. This is very much within the realm of what normally gets nominated. In fact, it's such a typical year that 2 of the remaining films, those being Amour and Django Unchained, which each have 5 factors, can also be disregarded along with the rest, which leaves us with your basic 3-horse race. This is where stuff gets interesting. We've got Les Miserables, Argo, and Lincoln. In fact, everything remaining has got more than 5 factors, which is incredible. Starting with Les Mis. It's got a short, snappy title. It's a period piece. It's got a British director, I believe. It is in some way about death. It's directed by a man, and you better believe it has a white, older, adult male protagonist. 6 factors. That's pretty good. Until we start looking at Argo, which has pretty much the snappiest, shortest title you could possibly imagine. It's a period piece. It's about royalty because it's got the Shah of Iran somehow involved in it. Not got a British person, not got a handicap, but it's about war, it's about death, it's about being directed by a man, and it's got a white, older, adult male protagonist. I know you think that Ben Affleck's a young dude, but one easy way to decide what's an older adult male, what's a younger adult male, is whether they got kids. And Ben Affleck's character had kids. So, hey, Argo, now you're cooking with gas. 7 factors here. That's pretty good. And that's maybe why a lot of people are picking Argo as the odds-on favorite to win, even though Ben Affleck's not nominated for Best Director. However, we're not here to tell you what most other people are picking, and we're not here to tell you what the odds-on favorite is. We're here to tell you what our math reveals. And to tell you that, we're going to have to take a look at Lincoln. Now get ready for some destruction. Lincoln, short title, period piece. About American royalty. Got a British guy named Daniel Day-Lewis is involved. Not about a handicap, even though Lincoln apparently maybe might have had Marfan syndrome, so we'll skip that one and move directly to war. Yes, to death. I think he probably dies at some point. It's directed by a man, and Lincoln is pretty much the definition of a white, older, adult male protagonist. The kind of guy that maybe some egotistical, older, adult white males might identify with as kings of their universe. What we have here is an 8-factor film, which is the highest amount of factors since The King's Speech, which was a 9-factor film because it had a stuttering king in it. Our results indicate that while Argo is what a lot of people are picking to win, the math says different. The math says that Lincoln is going to upset Argo, due thanks basically to the fact that it has a British person in it. That's the only difference that we can see between Lincoln and Argo. And it's all going to come down, believe you me, to having a British dude in it. And when Lincoln wins for Best Picture, look for Spielberg to also win the award for Best Director, although that will also happen if somehow Argo manages to defeat our algorithm and win Best Picture. Spielberg's taking home Best Director pretty much no matter what. So there you have it, our very controversial... Hold on, excuse me one second. I'm just getting a text message from some ghost investigators that I hired. Apparently I'm the ghost of a dude who got stung on the heart by a hornet during open chest surgery for donut artery disease.